Real Madrid's squad in 2026 will be in a state of significant transition. Several veteran players have contracts expiring in June 2026, including Thibaut Courtois, Antonio Rudiger, David Alaba, and Daniel Carvajal. While Courtois is expected to renew his contract until 2028, the futures of others remain less certain. Alonso's record in Germany is stellar. He faces a host of obstacles. Real's star-packed roster and entrenched playing style differ markedly from Leverkusen's, and high expectations loom. Alonso must negotiate tactical adjustments, an aging squad with key contracts and rising youth, and a demanding off-field environment of media and fans. Alonso's at Leverkusen used one wing-back as an auxiliary center-back and the other as an extra attacker. Real's fullbacks, Lucas Vazquez, Carvajal, Mendy, Fran Garcia, are accustomed to a four-man back line. Converting them to wing-back roles, or signing new ones, would be a steep learning curve. A hallmark of Alonso's approach is the deployment of wingbacks, where one integrates into the defensive line while the other advances to a near-striker position, creating strategic imbalances that bewilder opponents. He firmly believes in controlling the midfield, stating, "If you have control of the midfield, you have control of the game, and you have more chances to win. If you win the midfield, you probably win the game." Leverkusen's offensive dynamics are also characterized by inviting opposition pressure to create exploitable spaces, with players like Jeremy Frimpong using their pace to capitalize on these openings. In counter-pressing, the team employs a nuanced 3-2 box in midfield to corral opponents towards the flanks and set traps. Defensively, Leverkusen is a well-organized unit, seamlessly transitioning from a 5-2-3 in offensive phases to a 5-2-2-1 in deeper defensive stances, fortifying central defense and enabling swift counterattacks. Leverkusen's 2024-25 season statistics under Alonso underscore the effectiveness of this tactical blueprint. They achieved an average possession of 59%, scored 72 goals, and conceded only 43 goals in 34 Bundesliga matches, resulting in a robust goal difference of plus 29. Their pressing intensity, measured at the 41st percentile, indicates a calculated, trap-setting approach rather than an aggressively overt press. Alonso's coaching ethos, deeply influenced by his playing career, prioritizes control, tactical adaptability, and spatial exploitation. He has also demonstrated a pragmatic willingness to adjust formations, having experimented with 4-3.3 and 3-4-3 based on the opposition and his squad. His Bayer Leverkusen side dominated the Bundesliga with attacking wingbacks, floating number 10s, clever possession, intense pressing, and rapid counters. But Real Madrid don't have specialist wingbacks. Their full-backs, like Carvajal, Fran Garcia, or Mendy, are more traditional defenders, not naturally suited to playing high and wide in a back 3 or 5. This limits Alonso's ability to stretch the pitch the way he did at Leverkusen. On top of that, players like Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo are far more effective playing higher and wider up the pitch, not in narrow inside forward roles or as second strikers. Mbappe, too, loves to drift into wide areas and have freedom, which complicates the team's shape even more. Alonso's possession-based game could suit Madrid's world-class individuals, but integrating Bellingham, Valverde, Camavinga, and Tchouaméni into a functional, balanced midfield is a massive selection puzzle. Even more concerning is the out-of-possession issue. At Leverkusen, Alonso's press was synchronized, intense, and relentless. But Real's attacking stars are not known for constant pressing. If even one player fails to press properly, the system collapses. So, Alonso may have to adapt. Rather than copy-pasting the Leverkusen system, he might need to implement a shape that uses 3 center-backs in possession, creating a box midfield that provides stability and progression. This shape can allow wide players to stay higher, making use of Madrid's lethal pace in transition without compromising defensive structure. Ultimately, Alonso's success depends on adjusting his principles, not abandoning them. By evolving the system to Real's player strengths, rather than forcing his old one, he could maintain verticality, aggression, and fluidity while solving tactical gaps. If he gets that balance right, he might not just fit Madrid, he could redefine them in the post-Ancelotti era. A significant mismatch exists between Alonso's tactical requirements and the current state, and likely immediate reinforcement of Real Madrid's defensive personnel. Real Madrid's current defensive unit is aging, with Rudiger, Alaba, and Carvajal all being 32-33 by 2026. The club has historically shown transfer hesitations in acquiring defensive reinforcements, preferring calculated patience over desperate moves, and Florentino Perez is noted for not wanting to buy too many defenders. This is not just a squad deficiency, it is a structural vulnerability that could undermine Alonso's entire system. A high-pressing, high-line system, which Alonso's Leverkusen employs, demands agile, tactically astute, and durable defenders. If Real Madrid's board continues its cautious approach to defensive spending, Alonso will be forced to compromise his core tactical principles, potentially leading to defensive instability, as seen with 64 goals conceded in 2024-25, 14 more than the previous season, and an inability to replicate Leverkusen's defensive solidity. 43 goals conceded in 34 Bundesliga matches. This fundamental misalignment could be a persistent source of frustration and underperformance. This system-first approach represents a significant departure from Real Madrid's traditional reliance on individual brilliance. Historically, Real Madrid has thrived on near-perfect fundamentals, a solid tactical structure, and individual brilliance, with successful managers like Zinedine Zidane and Carlo Ancelotti often playing the cards given to them. Ancelotti's Real Madrid frequently relied on individual talent and quick transitions. The problem this creates is a profound cultural challenge. Alonso's emphasis on the system potentially overriding individual star power could lead to resistance from players accustomed to a different approach. The core issue is the potential for a system versus ego conflict within the dressing room. If star players perceive their roles as stifled or their individual brilliance as secondary, it could lead to dissatisfaction, internal friction, and a struggle to maintain team cohesion. This psychological test of persuading a dressing room of superstars to adopt a disciplined, communal system is explicitly highlighted as a major challenge for Alonso. The arrival of Kylian Mbappe, who was Real Madrid's top goal scorer in the 2024-25 season with 43 goals across all competitions, will undoubtedly add immense attacking prowess. However, integrating him alongside Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham presents a complex challenge. Vinicius Jr., 24 years old, market value €200 million, is a pivotal star, with strong sentiment among fans that he is not gonna sit on the bench for anybody, and he is expected to sign a longer contract. Jude Bellingham, 22 years old, market value €180 million, is a key attacking midfielder whose role has evolved to include increased playmaking responsibilities, expected assists per 90 up to 0.33 in 2024-25, alongside consistent defensive contributions, averaging 1.39 tackles and 3.64 recoveries per 90.